In a world where darkness and light collide, two flames burn eternal. From the sacred halls of Freemasonry to the roaring highways of the Wittesons comes a brotherhood forged in truth, honor, and fire. This is no ordinary podcast, so this is the voice of the craft, reminding you that the sun never sets on the Wittesons. From the heartland of America, welcome to the Two Burning Tapers podcast with your hosts, Skittles and Gilligan.
Welcome back to Two Burning Tapers, where we're spreading good light, keeping the Blue Lodge first and highlighting brothers who truly live faith, hope, and charity. Tonight, I have the honor of introducing a brother who represents deep roots and a real dedication to the craft. He's a member of what was the very first Kentucky Wittesons chapter. You might have heard of him, the Traveling Gavel, established in 2003. This is a brother who has been putting miles on the road and work into the lodge for over 2 decades. He's currently serving as the district deputy of District 6 in Kentucky, and he's a past master. Not once, not twice, but 3 times over. A leader, a man committed to Masonry, both inside the lodge and outside on the highways. Brothers, bring your hands together, because tonight I have the privilege of welcoming Brother Bo to the Two Burning Tapers podcast.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Good intro, brother.
Thank you.
Can you write me a new intro? you just get so good at it every week. I'm just like, I'm amazed, brother. I'm amazed. Can't wait.
Thank you.
Getting good.
Brother Bo, welcome to the podcast, brother. Long time listener, first time caller.
Yep.
Nice. Well, I guess, Brother Bo, you've listened to our podcast quite often. So you kind of know how we like to investigate or interrogate our stars. So we gonna dive down into the good old Brother Bo, see who you are, where you came from, and just kind of see your Masonic journey and listen to it, because I'm so I just love hearing everybody's journeys, because they're all different, but they're all the same. So I'm going to give you the floor to go ahead and introduce yourself and just kind of let us know who you are, what state you're from, and we'll dive down into the nitty gritty there, brother.
Okay. Well, I'm Robert Wilson, but everybody calls my road name's Bo. Started up, my daddy called me that years ago, so it's kind of stuck. But I'm started out in 99. I was raised in the Madisonville Lodge 143. Back in November 99, and I've been sticking with it ever since. Now I'm a member of N.H. Shaw Orphans Friends 608 in Nortonville. That's where I'm at now. I'm also a member of Ristful Shrine, also one of their van drivers, but here lately I haven't been driving that much because my district deputy duties have been taking a lot of my time between family and that has been taking a lot of my time. So I asked the potentate there, I said, if you let me slide a year and get this out of the way, I might help you again. So, yeah, working the bingos and everything. We got bingo over there at the Ristful Shrine. I hadn't been there in a while, but we worked all last year at it, me and my fiance.
Nice.
So we've been doing a real good job at it. And she's been a trooper, I tell you. My district meeting is March 14th. At 7:00 on that Saturday evening. We usually cater. We usually go and cater, but she said, I want to do it. So her and her friends are going to cater my district meeting. So
taking on some responsibility. Nice. There you go.
Nice.
That's what I was saying earlier. You got to add your family and add your family part of it,
Yeah. So, yeah, most definitely.
Brother Bo, I got to know, talking to you beforehand, we were kind of talking about the original Kentucky chapter right around 2003. So that tells me you were already a Master Mason by 2003. Can you tell me about How did Freemasonry find you? Where did that journey start or begin for you with
I was gonna say
Freemasonry?
the year 1999, I partied like it was going out of style. I was in high school, buddy, and I had no fucking idea what Freemasonry was. Didn't know a thing about it, and I want to know your story because, man,
I'm a legacy Mason, so
Yeah.
it's been in the family for a long time. Like I was telling you earlier, I found out my great-great-grandfather was a Mason, and I have a cousin, she's doing genealogy, and she found a great-great-uncle of ours, and this got uh, a tombstone with a square and compass on it, but no G in the middle. And she said, "Is that a Masonic symbol?" I said, "Yes, it is." So I found out it goes back to I have a great-great-great-uncle, and down in Mississippi over that. But I was 39 years old when I first got in. I've seen it all my life. My father was a Mason up in Indiana Lodge, and he um, he would bring strangers in, and they'd go back in the back and practice and everything. But I didn't know
buddy,
anything about it. And then for years, I'd never asked him. And I just asked my uncle one time, my uncle there in Madisonville. I said, "How do you become a Mason? How do you become a Mason?" And he told me, "Well, you already started. You asked one to be one."
Yeah. Yep.
And he said, "Why didn't you ask your father?" I said, "Hey, he never said nothing, you know." But Dad he was pleased as punch. My brother and I went in the same time. My brother's the current master of N.A. Shaw Lodge right now. He took
nice, nice.
the reins now. So yeah,
No, so your brother's still in lodge with you, still to
yeah,
this day.
yeah.
Nice. I
He's
was
the
gonna say
master of N.A. Shaw.
I got to join with my dad, my little brother, and my dad's little brother. So there was four of us that went in. Me, my dad, and my dad's little brother are still in, and my actual little brother is not in Freemasonry with me anymore. So it's nice. It's nice to see that does still happen for other people, that you can get in with your brother and you get to share more than just your standard brotherhood. You get to share an actual.
Yeah, you can
I
be a
don't know.
brother.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah.
brother. And they're like, "What are you
That's
talking
my
about?"
brother.
Because we always run around like, "Brother,
Yeah.
brother." And then when you talk to people in public and you're just like, "Yeah, that's I'm going to my brother's house," and they're like, is he talking about his actual brother?" And I'm like, "Yeah, because I'm not changing it. That's my brother."
Just a brother from another mother. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah. So it's funny that you said that you watched your dad growing up bringing strangers or just men or gentlemen into the home or into your life, and you knew they were good people by your dad, by the way they were coming in, but you didn't know what it was. I wonder if that's gonna be my children in years, because I have friends that come in, um, that are, or excuse me, master masons that come in and join the Wittesons, and they come and hang out around us, and kind of the same thing. And then also in the Blue Lodge, we have gentlemen that come in, and I do a lot of the teaching, in my lodge, because I'm a younger gentleman. My average age of my lodge is 70 plus. So
Yes.
I'm 42. So it's like I have to be that younger man in the lodge helping out
Hmm.
the most, because I'm supposed to I have.
You got the better memory.
Correct. I got the better memory, or I have the extra time per se, because I'm young. But it's just one of those ones. I wonder if my kids are going to say the same thing that you did. It's like, I watched my dad, but I talk about I guess the generation difference,
Mm-hmm.
because maybe your dad didn't talk about it, where my generation, we talk about it on this podcast, and I talk to it with my kids, but I don't divulge any secrets. I try to share that wealth of my knowledge or my light just in general with my children, and I get it from my Freemasonry brothers.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that I can see that in the next 25, 30 years, when my kids get older, I might be able to ask that question, like, "Hey, did you know what Freemasonry was, or how did that influence your life?" So that's awesome. That's awesome, brother.
Yeah. So my dad is always, and I've seen him once a week. Because here's something. I get brothers here in these lodges. We go to visit, and my dad is gone right now, but when he was here, we'd go visit lodges, and he would help. He'd put on the descriptive, he'd do charges, and he'd do everything. And they said, "Man, your dad's got a photographic memory." I said, "No, he just did it every week since 1972." You know,
Right.
and they
Nice.
were doing work every Wednesday night up there in Indiana. They were doing work. They had one stated meeting, and the rest of it was work. You know.
Mm-hmm.
He stayed on the top of it, you know. So
I
he
was
can
gonna say,
remember. He was doing things that when I was going through catechism through it, he would we were working in Wisconsin. We were working a job in Wisconsin. And
nice.
that they were doing a special call meeting for me because Madisonville met on the first Tuesday of the month, and I'm sorry, the second Tuesday of the month. So the second Tuesday of the month, Madisonville met, but I couldn't be there. I was in Wisconsin working a job, a powerhouse up there. So we would run down that Friday when we get off work, and that Saturday they put on a call meeting and get the work done. But I sat in the cab of the truck with him, going to work, coming back, and I was a captive audience. So I learned quite a bit. I learned
Yeah.
I learned my catechism. Yeah.
I bet you he was pretty potent, pretty on point about the correct pronunciations of the
Oh, yes.
word,
Yeah.
and the right word to use, and you can't sub it.
Yeah. I was listening to your guest last week when you were talking to that president of Nebraska, and he said when they were talking about the word, well, Kentucky's not that strict. Indiana is, you know. When I
Yeah.
was in Mississippi, they're strict too. You know, you got to get that word correct. You know.
Yeah. Oh, correct. That's what I was gonna say. So in some states, like in Kentucky, you have to learn long form, but there
We
are
learned long form.
there are substitutions of words that some gentlemen just cannot pronounce, and it is okay to substitute the words, even though it's the
Mhm.
same meaning. And in
Mhm.
certain lodges, that's not acceptable, which is okay. There's no right or wrong answer there, but it's just the way you allow yourself to learn. And some are the old school, like Brother Lucas out of the Wayfarers chapter out of Kentucky. His lodge is the very like old school lodge. So it is just nice to see those types of lodges out there.
It
'Cause
is. That's good.
I sometimes see when we push them through fastly, they lose a little bit of the meaning or the adventure they get to get there. Because it's the gentleman that you get to spend with, who was it, your dad or your uncle that you got to do your catechisms with, you were saying
My
back and
dad.
forth?
Yeah, my
Your
father.
dad?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got to spend a lot more just personal time with your dad instead of, uh, just sitting back and not getting to see your dad very often, especially in your older age, especially being 39, 40 years old. That's something I get to look at myself now. I'm 42, and I get to sit in the lodge with my dad guaranteed once a month. I get to see my dad once a month.
Awesome.
We're not a phone call kind of people. Growing up as a kid, my dad was always, if someone called, my mom would be like, "Cannon, you got somebody on the phone." My dad's like, "I'm not here." So I carried that over into my life. When
That
someone
sounds
calls me
like
on
your
the phone,
dad.
like, straight up, you can
I'm
text
not
me and I can
here.
answer all day long. You call me on the phone, I'm like, "I'm not here," or get to your point, I'm hanging up.
Yeah, my kids, they won't answer unless you text them.
That's funny.
Hey, sometimes it's faster. It's a little easier. But that's growing in the lodge, as we do now, just the technology. But more back to you, brother. Back to you of how like that's just awesome. You got to spend that time with your dad. He was raised in 1972.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah,
Nice,
you
and
raised in 72.
Before air
raised in
conditioning.
99. So you said you were raised in 99, right?
I was raised in 99. I was 39 years old. Yeah.
39, nice.
39 when I got in.
So how long did it take? How long was your journey in your lodge before you became master?
Oh yeah, that was I become master in 2016.
20.
I was
Oh,
master. Yeah.
we were masters together, brother.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, 2016 was the year I
I
was master
didn't.
because go ahead.
Did you go to Grand Lodge when you were the first time you're master?
Yeah,
Okay.
I did. I
I
do believe
didn't.
that might have been the first year we introduced the push button for electronic voting.
Yes.
Yes.
But I didn't get to go because my father passed that time, so
Oh.
I had to call my secretary, Dennis Moore.
Secretary.
Really nice
Okay.
guy. He's the one of the guys that he has inspired me to between my father and Dennis, they inspired me so much, you know.
I
But
will tell you, I was going to say, you said secretary. If you don't have a good secretary in your lodge, you don't have a good master in your lodge, to be
Brother
honest with
Dennis
you.
has been instrumental in everything. He's been in every well, far I think as far as he's gotten Grand Lodge was well, he did 2 terms of district deputy, and he was Grand Sword Bearer, I believe it was.
Okay. Grand Sword
Yeah.
Bearer. Nice. Speaking of, so 2016, you were master.
In 2017, I did again.
So you got 2 years in a row. That's
Yeah,
nice. So
yeah.
the first year was kind of feel it out. Second year was all right. I kind of
Learning curve.
correct learning curve. The second
Good
year
for
was like,
you.
okay. So now I have not been a past master for the third time. I got shoved into the elected death sentence secretary for 7
Ugh,
years.
for life.
Yeah, well, I had a 7-year stint. Now I'm secretary, or excuse me, treasurer for the last 3 years. So I've worked my way up a little bit, I guess.
Treasurers is the only chair I never sat in.
Treasurer, okay. Let me ask you, how's that third year?
It was even better. I went to I transferred to another lodge at that time. I just wanted
Okay.
to well, I'm married. I married my wife, moved down to Nortonville, and that's where she lived, and we just end up there. So in Nortonville, I decided, hey, you know what? I might as well get in Nortonville Lodge. It's right here. I can be there in a little bit, you know. And I've been there, but when she passed, I still go there. Now my brother's a master. I go there and help him, you know, make sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I just I don't know. I just the third time I already knew it, so it was easy. It
Mm.
wasn't hot, you know. They say that's a hot seat. Well, it wasn't the third time. You know, it
Right.
was like, but
You
just
kind of.
trying to get my brothers motivated was a challenge, you know.
It's
How do
like
how do
herding
you,
cats sometimes.
it is.
Herding
How
kittens.
how do
Yeah.
you feel about somebody being a worshipful master 2 years in a row? Do you think that second year is where they really hit their stride, or
That's
should
word.
it be should you take on a new chair every year?
Well, you should take on a new chair every year, but I think if your senior warden's not ready, and a lot of them are not, they're not. Uh, so that second year, you already know what you're doing, and you
Mhm.
just automatically just jump right in, and you know exactly what to do, how to run things, you know, and uh, get your committees going, you know. And
Mhm.
that's the hardest. That first year is the hardest part when you try to learn how to do all your committees and try to get them and what to do, you know. So
I almost that you say that. I'm having a brain thought right now of I almost wish they would move the committees from the worshipful master year to your senior warden year. So that way, as your senior warden year, you're setting up the committees for the
Uh,
next year instead of while you're standing there, you're trying to set those committees up and set that precedence to make your year. You're actually not making your year. You're making the year for the person behind you.
right.
So
Yeah.
so if we could move that from being the master's problem to the senior warden's problem, or vice president's problem, whichever you may want to call that in Wittesons or Masonry. If you move that committees over to the vice president or senior warden spot, it will allow that year for them to be in it, but it still allows the growth.
I see Grand Lodge. Grand Lodge does something a little bit different than we do. They've got a deputy Grand Master. And you watch him, he sets things up for his year and he gets everything lined up, you know. And
Gotcha.
it was an eye-opening experience when I finally went to Grand Lodge and started seeing how they do things. And I'm like, we should be doing that and subordinate lodges, you know. We should be setting up like a deputy.
We should be doing that in our single lodges or our smaller lodges.
Right.
So you said you were master in 16, 17. When was it? And when was your third term?
22.
22. So after Kobe. So you got the. I wonder. I was going to ask you, was your lodge that you came into at that moment, was it still coming back from COVID?
Yeah. When was it? 20? When we had when the Grand Lodge shut us down for
that was nuts.
The district deputy back then was Brother Bruce, and Brother Bruce, they asked him to do it again, you know, and he did. He went ahead because they shut him down, and all the district deputies, they didn't get to do their job, so they had to redo them. Well, most of them. I don't know if all of them did, but most of them did.
Right.
You know?
I would say so. Now you're district deputy now, current this year, correct, for district number 6.
Yeah.
Nice. And that is a 10-year gap from the first time that you were master master your lodge. So it was 2016 to 2026, which is awesome. It means you've been putting in some work, because to get that spot, I've seen in Kentucky, you have to be known by traveling and also being known by the Grand Lodge, because they that's an appointment. That's something that the Grand Master goes, hey, I think you would be a great candidate for it. And I think, in my personal opinion, I've seen you out traveling. I think you've nailed it. I think you did a great job as district deputy. So keep up the good work on that. So 100%.
It's been an interesting year so far. They moved everything up. So I think the year before, I think our district meeting was supposed to be in April. Well, we had a storm and there was some tornadoes and everything. So they shut everybody back. We didn't have our district meeting last year till July. I think it was in July. There was a lot of interest dropped in it and they didn't get it done. But this year they're doing it in March. So they don't give us enough time to get everything set up and do all our visitations. But you know what? We're going to pull it off. We did it. I get most of my visitations in, except one lodge, and I promised them I would see them as quickly as I can. You know, it just the way the schedule fell, it wasn't good.
I was going to say, I've seen my district deputy for District 17. District 16. I've seen him December, January, and February meeting. He's come to our lodge just because he's in our district, so it's easy for him. And our lodges in our district are probably maybe 25, 30 minutes apart from each other. If you look at, if you watch my Facebook page, we did a live installation, open installation, and he was one of the gentlemen that was doing a part in our installation, which was awesome. So not necessarily all the time do you actually get to see your district deputy in your lodge very often, because you guys do have to travel. So it is nice to have one that is close in your lodge that you do get to see often.
Not only we travel in our district, but we go outside our district and travel in those too, you know.
Correct. So, yes.
How often does a district deputy How much are you going out? Like, is this a weekly thing, a bi-weekly? Like, how many lodge visits are you making?
It could be biweekly, every 2, maybe 3 times a week. Yeah. But I try to keep it a minimum because, you got family too. So you try to make it like twice, well, maybe once a week,
Right.
twice at the
Mhm.
most. But
Yeah, I
I've
was
been
gonna say
known to do it 3 times.
you do have an obligation to your family, and you do have an obligation to you have what is it? We taught 8 equal parts of the day, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, time for your recreation, time for your family, and time for your lodge, or your work. So you being a district deputy does take a lot. Does take a lot of time from your family. So that's why I said earlier, we appreciate you taking that time. And I see you putting in the work. I also see you putting in the work as a Witteson. So I'm gonna go, since we got your Masonic journey started up, and we got how you got to be a district deputy. Are you a Shriner or a Scottish Rite, or
I was Scottish Rite. I demitted out of that, and then because I was working off and I just couldn't spend the time. And then when I
dedication?
got vocation, family vocation, then the lodge. But I demitted out of that Scottish Rite. I got my 32nd degree, and then I stayed in a couple more years, and then I got out. But I got into Shrine 20. Well, the same time I was mastered the lodge for Nortonville. I went 2017. I got into 2016. I got into Shrine because I remember me and my dad went to the hot sands together. He
Nice,
didn't. I
nice.
did.
I have been through the
Well,
hot sands myself.
it's not so hot anymore,
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, it is not so hot, but
Not so hot. No.
that's okay. That's okay. Things times have to change. Times have to change. Speaking of, we'll get into that one in a little while. I had a brain thought at the same time. Sorry, I have a lot of things to go.
Hey, 2016 was a long time ago. You became a Shriner in 2016?
10 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say the same time he was master. So that's a lot.
Yep.
That's a
Mhm.
lot. So I just put into our sponsor Perplexity, and that was before TikTok, Apple AirPods, ChatGPT, and 5G.
Yeah. No shit.
What?
Like,
I'm just kidding. We don't have any sponsors here.
just two broke idiots talking on a podcast.
We're idiots.
3.
Man.
3 now.
Thank
3
you,
now.
thank
Okay.
you, brother.
Well, we can't include you. You have to include yourself.
3's a party, baby. I love it.
You're all right. So I'm gonna ask you a question. You've owned how long you've owned a motorcycle?
Oh, since owned one back in
On road one,
1978.
whichever one. On
Well,
road, same difference.
78.
Rode one since I was 13. My daddy brought home a motorcycle, a Suzuki, and I
Nice.
rode the wheels off that. Rode the wheels off of it. Then I
bet.
bought me a little Kawasaki, and all my friends told me, "You don't want a Harley? They vibrate to death. They'll vibrate to pieces." And that Kawasaki 400 was going down the highway, and piece of the luggage rack was falling off, and people behind me dodging parts off that Kawasaki. So
Love that.
I bought my
Love
first Harley in 78. I bought my
78.
first Harley.
Woo!
Yeah.
Wow.
So
What?
you bought an AM? You bought an AMF, didn't you?
It was an AMF, almost. Yeah.
Wow.
Dang. Ooh. So
American.
how many times do you have to work on that?
Well, the Sportster I bought wasn't so bad. It run pretty good, but it was a Sportster. It'll kickstart.
1,000? 1,000,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. It's a 1,000. It's a 73 XLCH.
Nice.
Kickstart only. And
Yes.
that thing had me on the garage floor one time. It kicked back on me and it put me on the garage floor. And I was calling my wife. I said, come get me. I think done broke my leg,
Yeah. I was gonna
And
say,
just
man,
leave work and come get me.
I
It
raced
didn't break it; it just hyperextended it.
I raced motocross for years, and that fucking kickback with in the bottom of the boot, and if you weren't wearing the right boot, it was coming through the bottom of your foot, and that shit sucked. So you've owned a motorcycle for quite a long time. You bought you an AMF 1000s Harley.
After that, I bought me an Electric Glide. That was a '79 AMF.
Nice.
That one, you couldn't keep oil in it. It was just spraying it out everywhere.
Yeah, fair enough. That's how we got that whole Harley leaks oil saying.
If
But
it doesn't leak oil, better check it. You might be out.
Yeah, it might be out.
correct. If it stops, you're out.
Yeah.
But way back in the day, I do remember Harley used to have they used to oil the chain by the primary vent.
But
So
they had
would,
they had a little valve that you'd open up a little bit. It would drip on the chain.
Yep. And some people forgot to close them, or they just broke all the way the fuck off, and they just didn't care. So that's how Harley used to get their leaking known. Hey, it's a Harley leaks. It just vibrates apart. No, we had an automatic chain drip for a reason, bud.
I got 2 out there in the garage now, and she's very adamant about getting no oil on the driveway or something. They don't leak. They don't leak. I got a 2010 and a 23 Heritage sitting out there.
I got a 2018. No, 2018 Street Glide sitting in my garage right now that I got a little bit of oil leaking from the back of the cylinder head, or possibly the oil pass through.
Brother, you've been making me nervous about that. I need you to figure that out, because I need to know if that's going to happen to my bike.
I may have to put a set of heads on it.
What do you got, Skittles?
I got a 2020 Ultra Limited.
Okay.
And I love that bike. Me and Gilligan both have big bore kits on our bikes, and it turns them.
Yeah, I seen yours, Gilligan. Yeah. You were on that flamethrower or something there in Indiana.
Indiana,
yeah. Franklin,
Indiana. It turns them into dirt bikes, man. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But so you've been riding motorcycles for a very long time. You have a very big a motorcycle background. And a Masonic background. So both of those were led side by side. When did you find the Wittesons, or how did the Wittesons find you? I know that's a double loaded question. And you can decide where to kind of start that one.
Well, back in 03, I just come in from a job, and my dad was retired at that time, and I was still working, and I come from home, come to lodge, and my dad was asking me. He said, Robert Curtis. I don't want to drop names, but the man he's a good guy, but he's no longer with us. Also, but Robert Curtis come up and said, "Hey, Robert wants to know if you want to get in with his motorcycle." At that time, he said club. Later on, I found out it's MRA, but at that time, I said, "What's it about?" And he said, "I don't know. You have to talk to him." So I called him, and we all got together, and it was in April of 03. We met at a restaurant, and he talked about it, and he said he was supposed to get the charter and everything from a chapter in Florida. Army Nunez was the one that set it up, and I said, "Oh, okay." So in June, they gave me a call, and they said, "We're going to meet down here at the Denny's restaurant." There was 10 of us at the time, and that's how I got started. We all signed up, and he had the charter, and we got started on that. We were the first chapter to get started in Kentucky.
Nice.
Don't know when they turned it over to a state board, but it was some years later that they turned it over to state board. They elected to have a state board run it instead of having us as the grand chapter, you know.
Right. So you start off as a single chapter, and then you grow from single chapters to chapters, and then it grows big enough.
Yeah.
It grows big enough to where you have to have a president or a voting board, and then a board that runs the meeting pretty much. And I'm a
I think it gets too big for one chapter to take care of, especially when it starts
yes.
outgrowing you know.
Right. Because
Mhm. Yeah.
sometimes I see you get in chapters, or you get into even masters that get into a lodge, and they are kind of running the lodge, even though they're not master of the lodge, if that makes sense. Uh,
Mhm.
you kind of get the same thing as an organization, as a Wittesons. If you only have a grand chapter, and you have 10 or 15 other chapters in that state, and none of those guys get a voting choice. It
Mhm.
kind of gets a little one-sided, and then it feels like only one chapter's in charge. So I love the mindset of having a presidential board that votes for the craft, and not the grand chapter that says, oh, the president's board up top going, nope, this is how it is because I said I'm the president, or this is our state that way. I love that states are going to that point of being able to just go, president's board, tell me how your chapter does it, how your chapter feels about this, because each chapter is different. Every chapter is different, just like every Masonic lodge is different. It's ran different, but it doesn't mean we're different.
Right. Uh, I was kind of glad they turned it over to a board. I know we had some growing pains there for a while, but all in all, though, the last couple of meetings I've been to, and I went to the state rally, it seems like they really got things together. It looks like
Hmm.
we're pulling in the right direction now. So,
Yeah,
um,
most definitely. I'll say
yeah.
since 2003 till now, definitely gives you a lot of time to grow and figure things out. I remember being president of the Wayfarers and sitting on that president's board in Kentucky, and watching where, I'm assuming you remember, where the president, or excuse me, the president's pass off was the real reason why we had rallies, was be able to pass from president to president.
Hmm.
Is what I remember from Kentucky, because that was the rally why we had it. We had it to be able to president from president, and people meet, kiss the babies, that kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah. More of a politicking, you might say. You know,
Yeah.
politics. Yeah. But
Yeah.
now we hold it. What is it? Now the state president's office is good for 2 years now.
Yes.
Is it what it
Yes.
is? Yeah.
Yeah, and to be
So
and to
That's
get
nice.
back to Skittles' question earlier, he asked you about, should each master have a 2-year stint instead of just a 1-year stint? I'm
yeah,
I'm opting with the 2-year stint. Even maybe even as a president of your Wittesons chapter, maybe it should be a 2-year stint
we do,
if it's
and
good.
Brandon Brothers,
Mhm.
we have a 2-year office. I'm the vice president of the chapter, and it's a 2-year stint. You know.
I'm gonna say
Uh,
you've been president of the chapter, correct?
yeah, I was president of the Traveling Gavels for 5 years. You know,
Okay,
5 years
nice.
straight. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. I was gonna say
No one
sometimes.
wanted it, and it had to be done. You know.
Right, that's what, and you stepped up, and I guarantee you were a humble leader, not you were a leader, not a manager or a
Well,
dictator.
it's like I said, when I'm the district deputy, I served the craft. When I
Yeah.
was president of the chapter, I served the members of the chapter. You know, I'm a
Right.
servant, so
Right.
maybe that got me into trouble a few times. You know.
Yeah, I'm with you, but I will say I do know some forget that. Some forget that we're servants. We're meant to lead, but some forget we're servants.
There's no capital gain in this. I'm
No.
losing money to doing this. And
Mm,
when the president of the chapter, or when I'm master of a lodge, when I'm district deputy, grand master, I'm losing money. I'm not gaining no money. There is nothing to gain but
Mhm.
brotherly love. You
I
know,
was gonna say you're
that's
you're
the
not
wages.
you're not just losing money, you're losing your family time. which is equal to money. Well, not equal to money, is worth more than
valuable.
money. More valuable than money. Thank you. Sometimes the words don't like to collect correctly from coming from here out. So you were president of the traveling, or you said the traveler. I want to say
Traveling Gavels, yeah.
Traveling Gavels chapter for 5 years, and you've been president of the Brandon Brothers for at least a 2-year stunt.
Vice president, yeah.
Vice president. Okay, nice.
Yeah,
All right.
Rooster, he's the president now. I don't think it's the Rooster that you know. You may know him.
No,
Brian Bevan.
We
Yeah,
love
I think
Rooster.
your Rooster's out of Illinois. This one's out of Henderson, Kentucky.
Yeah. Our
Rooster is the Rooster. Yeah,
the Rooster. Yeah.
Yeah, your
The
Rooster is Rooster.
Rooster. Yeah. As fun fact, I got a picture the other day from Skittles, and it was a picture of a rooster. And his wife told him that he could not name his new rooster because that was after Rooster. So Skittles in his lovely life said, you know what? I'm going to name him Paul McCormick, which is our brother, the Rooster's real name.
Yeah.
So he's got a rooster in his chicken coop named Paul. Come here, Paul. Get over here.
And every night I go tell my wife, I'm like, all right, I'm going to go check in on Paul, see how Paul's doing. And he's a handsome man. I tell you what, I love that rooster. I love all the roosters in my life.
Nice. But so you're vice president now. You got what, one more year left, or this is your last year, right?
This is the last year, yeah.
And hopefully you get voted up as president, correct? Maybe after district deputy.
Yeah, I reckon. Well, yeah, I got to get rid of this district deputy job first, and I'm done with that. And that's another thing that would probably be better with a 2-year stint.
A district deputy
better
spot?
Not. She ain't gonna like the sound of
that. But you're not wrong. Like you are not wrong, because literally most of the jobs we do for the first time, like, you should go back and do it a second time. Like, if you're
only learning the first time, you don't know everything,
Correct. Even if you only get 1 year at it the first time, step back up again. Get back in rotation. I mean, I'm 42. I was master the same year you were in 16. I got to be a master again in 18. I will be a master again of my lodge for sure at some point, because if it needs to be in the line, if someone needs to fill a spot in the line, I'm going to jump up and do that, because I'm a servant of my craft. So
you're serving the craft. If they need you, you do it.
I'm going to ask you a question there, Bo. I'm going to say you have probably seen rallies change from over the years as long as you've been in. So I know Kentucky is kind of one of the founding on the branding itself, kind of the wording and how it works, and it's been adapted from states to states to states to states, and everybody likes to.
I thought the branding was founded in Kentucky.
It was.
Okay. I just want to make sure. Just checking.
Yeah.
Well, at least I know that part of it. Yeah. The branding part of it, the different than now than it was, as I was talking to Skittles about earlier, it has evolved. Then the first time I was the first class that went through it, and what was it, in 05, 06, somewhere around there when we first started it, and it has evolved,
without divulging too much.
Without indulging too much, yeah. It has
the first group of guys got the first official group of guys you were a part of, and you're saying that was around 2005-ish?
Yeah, I want to say 2005, 2006. My memory, if it serves me correctly, that's about 2005, 2006 when they come up with the branding, and they did it in Hog Valley rally.
I remember that. I remember hearing stories about that.
Yeah. The next year, I think House Cat come and got his branding done, and a few others. But I remember that year. I was in the because I think Rough Cut was might have been in the same class with me. He's either first that year or next year, but one of them. Yeah, and then you had some to come down from Illinois to get it done.
Yeah. I will say R.I.P. to brother House Cat. That was a man. That was a good man. I love brother House Cat.
I miss him so.
Man. Yeah, buddy.
We have lost a lot of brothers over the years, but he's one that stands out the most.
I got my branding in 13, and I've noticed that branding and rallies have changed since then myself. And some of the older cats that were in my influencing of coming into the Wittesons are no longer with us, be medical or what may be the case. It's just it's weird and nuts how it changes, but we have to adapt to be able to continue ourselves forwards and be able to get the younger craft and the younger gentlemen into Freemasonry or the Wittesons, whichever one draws them near.
Yeah. Brother Bo, so I'm hearing that you were involved in one of the first rounds of one of the first brandings that started in Kentucky in 2006. And in my head, I'm doing the math and I'm like, that was 20 years ago. That's crazy. But you said it's changed and it's different.
21 years, I think, somewhere.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You said it's changed and it's different. Again, we don't have to talk about it, and we should stay on the side of not talking about it, but I want to try to ask it in the lightest way possible. Has it changed in verbiage? Has it changed in theatrics? Has it changed in meaning? Or like, if you were to lightly, and please feel free to like not answer or talk lightly about it, but if I were to ask, right?
I think some of this we can talk about after we're off recording.
Thank you.
To answer your question, the verbiage is different a little bit. It's got more intense. I know Brother Beardy has contributed a lot to it.
Love Brother Beardy.
Love Brother Beardy.
I just seen on Facebook today.
Dude, that's why I grew a beard. Like legitimately. I had this little baby beard. And then I saw Beardy.
I remember when yours is little.
Oh yeah. Awesome. It was like baby face. And I was like, I'm growing a beard like Beardy. Everybody knows that man because of that beard. That beard makes him the man.
You critters in it too when you ride.
Yeah. Oh, buddy, bugs, I tell you, I shit you not, they will stick in there. And if they're alive, you will feel them bitches just try to crawl up under you. And it's like, get out.
That's awesome.
So, the theatrics has gone way up. It's really good. I like it. And
I was going to ask you good or bad, but you answered.
Well, it depends on who you ask. That's, but I think it's good.
Yeah, we're asking you, brother.
Yeah, and I'm saying it's good. It's when I the last one I was over there at Olive Hill. We were doing that one. Unfortunately, I couldn't stay. I had to go at the time. Remember, you branded my vest, and it was a brand new vest. I got rid of the last one when we got out. I turned my patches in and got rid of my cut. But since I'm back in, I had it rebranded. But I had to leave early. But I wanted to watch it, and this year I'm gonna stay through the whole thing and watch the whole thing. But what I heard of it is spot on. For the what'd you say the third one was? For the meaning of it?
Yeah.
The meaning is still the same. It's still means the same. We're there for our brothers, and we're there for the when you're in the lodge and you talk about helping your brothers. We do that in every walk of life. Through the shrine, York Rite, Scottish Rite, the Wittesons. We're there for our brothers, and we're supposed to be there. I know some of our brothers slipped through the cracks, but mostly we try to do every one of them and help them out, And
Right. I was
anytime, like
just
you said, they need a place to
there's
stay, we got a couch or something,
right. I
Mhm.
bet if I'm in your area of town and break down, Bo, you're gonna be like, "Hey, come on, I got you.
Come
Come
on,
on over, I
come on.
got you."
Yeah, we
100%.
got, yeah. So the meeting
Um,
is still there.
the meeting. I was gonna say, do you think with the wording change and the meaning, do you think it's getting implied a little bit better as we add the theoretics to it a little bit more?
hmm
Do you think it gives it more meaning to the candidate that way?
Any way you can give more to the candidate. It's like when you do your third degree, masonry.
Mhm.
You want to give them as much as you can. I think if you shorten it, and pardon me for some of the brothers out there that went through the short form, I think you miss a lot of what it is when you go
Mhm.
through the short form. You really need that experience.
Right, right,
Um,
right.
my like I said, my father went to an Indiana lodge, and they went through the whole thing, all 3 sections of the third
Mm,
degree, and
of
they
the
brought it
degree.
out. Moved to Kentucky, he said that's not as much as that he used to do,
Right,
and
right.
he's telling everybody, "You're missing out." The candidate's missing out on what he needs to do, and that's the same thing with the widow sons. When the candidate gets down there, gets his money's worth or not, long as he's got that, it gives
Experience.
him more, that
Right.
experience.
Yes.
He thinks he's got more, and he did get more, he got his
Right,
money's
right.
worth.
He got to experience the 4th degree.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Right. Right.
It feels good to be part of something that's bigger than we are, and that Wittelsson degree is exactly that. It's more than
Yes.
what we are, bigger than what we
Yes.
are.
That's bigger than what we are. It's something we all get to share as not just Masons. We get to share it together as motorcycle enthusiasts.
And you're trusting your brother. Yep.
Yes. 100% you trust your
And
brother.
you're trusting your brother.
I trust my brothers in my lodge, like 100%, but I trust my Wittison brother, like
Mhm.
legitimately. I have a segment in our podcast I like to ask our listeners or our guests. Na-na-na-na! There it is. I'm gonna trap you in a not in the closet. I'm gonna trap you in an elevator.
Oh, that's better. I was worried about the closet part.
Hey, well, we could do 7 minutes in heaven if you'd like in that closet. No, just kidding, brother. I'm gonna trap you in an elevator for a minute, and I noticed that you had a Masonic ring on. What is that Masonic ring? What does that mean? Or not the ring itself, but what does Masonry mean to you? Why should I join it, or why should I consider being a Mason?
I had a stepson asked me the same thing. He said, there's that right there. Oh, wait a minute, it's up there. He asked me the same thing. He said, "What can masonry do for me?" Well, your
Mhm.
brother in my lodge got to telling him about, oh, it's an insurance policy that you'll hope you'll never use, and because brothers will help you out. And I looked at my stepson and I said, "That's the wrong answer." He said, "It is." I said, "You asked the wrong question. I'm sorry. You asked the wrong
You're right,
question.
right.
The question is what can you do for masonry?
Mm.
You know,
Yes.
it's going to bring whatever you put in. You're going to get tenfold out of it. You know,
Yes.
I'm going to tell you a story here. You probably know him,
I love
Gilligan.
story
You
time.
probably met him. You remember Hollywood out of Brandon Brothers?
I
He
do.
was the
Me and
president.
Skittles
I
both
know
do remember
Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
R.I.P. R.I.P. brother.
Yeah, rest in peace. Love
He's no
him.
longer with us, but listen. I was in Florida. I was down there with on vacation, and I got up one morning and I got a phone call from my brother saying, "Dad fell with an aneurysm. He had a stroke."
No.
And I said, okay, I'm
Not a
on my way
phone call
home.
you want.
So not the phone call you want. So I jumped in the car and started home, but there was no way I could make it. And they said they were taking him to Evansville, to St. Mary's in Evansville. So I couldn't think of nobody up there except my brother Hollywood. I called him up and I said, Hollywood, I'm in trouble. I said, my dad's on his way to St. Mary's. My mom's with him. She didn't even take anything. She don't have her purse, the wallet, no nothing. And she don't know nobody up there. And he said, what hospital they going to? I said, I'll be honest, I don't know at the time. I don't know. I don't know what hospital they're going to. I tried to ask my mother. She was hysterical and we couldn't
Right.
do it. So I called him and asked him if he would check in on her. And he said, I'll find out. So he got out of bed. And next thing I know, he called me. He said, they're taking him to St. Mary's because I think he was an EMS and something. He did that in the past. So he had connections.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
they're taking him to St. Mary's. He said, I'll look in on her. Hollywood got there and he went there and sat with her and she asked, who are you? She said, I'm Bo's brother. And she said, who? She later said, he was your lodge brother, wasn't he? I said, yes, Mom. He was my lodge brother, but she had no money. He gave her he gave her $100 bill. That's what he had in his pocket. He gave her $100 bill and he stayed with her until my brother got there, you know. And they took care of her. So it's an insurance policy that you can call on your brother if you have something wrong, like calling to sit with your dad when he had a stroke, or Brother Dennis tells a story about he had a daughter stuck down in Clarksville in a snowstorm, and he knew a brother down there, and they went and got her and took her to a shelter. I think took her back to their house, you know. So it's a brotherhood that looks out for their own, and everybody too. You don't have to look at it just for your own, but mainly the ones that you're with, you know. So
widows, orphans, daughters, wife, son, grandmother, uncle, whatever the case may be. If a brother calls you at 2:00 in the morning, he ain't calling just because he may need something like just to get a soap or something of that nature. He's calling because he needs help, and the answer should always be, "I got you."
What can I do for you? Yeah, I got you.
Yep, I got you. I got you. And I like how you called it an insurance policy, because there's nothing to gain financially through Wittesons or through Freemasonry. You gain knowledge. I mean, that
but
if you want to,
if that's what you're doing it for the wrong reason. Remember your apron lecture. You don't do it for that.
Correct.
Don't do it for self-gain, self-gratification. You know, you do it for to help your brothers, you know, your sisters and your families. And
well, and just like in Freemasonry, and you know, if you want to link it to an insurance policy, that's something you're pouring yourself into or monetarily paying for month after month and month, and you are hoping that you never have to use it, right?
Yes.
You know, you pour into Freemasonry hoping that you never have to call that brother and ask for help. But because you've poured into that brother, you know it's there.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you another story. You like these stories? Let me tell you another one.
I love
Please,
stories.
Brother Bo, tell us another
we like
story.
we like to call it story time.
It's story time.
Story
The other day. So what we're doing too, my fiance Tammy here, she's going to be doing the tea party at the shrine this summer, July 25th, I believe it is, and they sell tickets and they're raising money for the transportation fund to get the children to the hospital. So she volunteered me
of course
to go get donations. So I go around and to businesses and see about getting a donation, and some do, some don't, mostly do, and they and I tell them what's for. It's for the Shriners Hospital's transportation fund, and I was at,
We move
I better not
kids.
to drop the name. I better not to drop the name on the restaurant, but I went over there and they said, "Oh, we have to turn over to our general manager, and we'll call you." I don't think they're going to call me, but as I was walking out the door, I heard a voice say, "You Shriner?" And I stopped and looked, and it was a young lady standing there. She was the hostess there, and she said, "My sister was a Shriner baby." And I said, "Oh, that's awesome." So she said, "Man, y'all did a fantastic job. Y'all took her to I think that time it was a Louisville at the Corsairs. I don't think they're part of us anymore.
Co-share.
But at that time,
Uh,
the Corsairs, they were part of it at
yep.
one time. She said, helped her out tremendously, and she's married now. She's doing a missions trip. They're in South Korea, her and her husband. I said, awesome. So
Awesome.
I'm trying to get them to send me a video on her and to show how much we helped as Shriners. You got to be a Mason
Right.
to be a Shriner.
Right.
And
Right.
yeah, it just happened to just be walking out of the store, and she said, I mean, at a restaurant, she said, "You Shriner?" And I said, "Yeah." We got talking about it. She said, "My sister was Shriner baby." That was awesome.
Those
It feels
those are
good
the
though. You feel
moments.
stuff like that.
Yes. Those are the moments you look for. Those are the moments that is the money for you as a Mason. That's the moment
Uh-huh.
when you stand back and you're like, man, look at my brotherhood.
Mhm.
Look how we succeed. Look how we put things together for children. Not only just do we do it for free, we raise the money. That's how we do it for free, even though we don't want we don't ask for it. That's just our mission. We love children and we
Mhm.
love taking care of kids. I mean, that's I volunteer for two different softball teams. One's a travel paid team and one's a county rec team. And I volunteer a shit ton of my time for the kids, not for me, because I could two shits less. I'd much rather go up here to the golf course and spend 5 days a week learning how to golf really well or getting on my motorcycle and riding that way. But
There you go.
I love kids. I love kids and I love watching them grow. I love seeing the knowledge that they get and move forward. So it's lovely that you guys do that.
Back here, there's a school back here, the elementary school, and I'll be out in the backyard cutting grass and everything. You hear the kids out there just playing and giggling and carrying on. I said, "It feels good. That's our next generation,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
hopefully some of them will be Masons one day."
Yep.
A
I was gonna
lot,
say
if we teach them well, yeah,
we teach them well, and then
let's hope.
we have DMLA. We have a bunch of different avenues, a bunch of different places for them to, as young kids, to get the knowledge or the feel of Freemasonry. Um, Maybe one day we'll have that. We'll have a couple gentlemen on the podcast to kind of go through the avenues for that for men and or ladies, excuse me, women and girls.
Yeah,
Damn, I
yeah.
fucked that all the way
We
up,
got
all
a
the way around.
few. I think we got one D Malay, but it's already over in Eddyville over there. That's about a hour and a half ride over there. But we don't have none around Hopkins County or nothing. There's none in Henderson. Well, there was at one time. There was a D Malay there at Madisonville, but
Mhm.
they kind of died out. So we're a poor part of Kentucky.
Same. And I was gonna say that's the thing about Kentucky is there's smaller rural towns and it is Appalachian counties. So you do lose a lot of funding and a lot of money, and that's one thing I love about Freemasonry that are in those spots. They do help. They help their community a lot.
Yeah. I want to shout out to my brothers and Branded Brothers. They're doing well. We're doing some charity runs and doing some bike nights. If you ever get time, April 28th, we're doing a bike night over in O'Brien's over here in Davis County in West Louisville, little town of West Louisville. So
Nice. And that's not
We're gonna be doing
Louisville, what you're thinking about, Skittles.
Oh, okay.
not
Louisville.
Louisville,
Yeah,
Louisville.
West Louisville.
Louisville. West Louisville.
Yeah, it's West Louisville. West Louisville.
That's somewhere else. Skittles,
Yeah.
somewhere else. So April
Brother
28th.
Bo, is there any other shout outs, things you got going on coming up?
What
anything else
other
you
ride
wanna
you got going on?
say? Yeah.
We wanted to, we've been talking about, we got a meeting coming up this Sunday right after our stake meeting. So once we do our stake meeting, then we're going to come back and give our meeting to the rest of the chapter. A lot of our chapter members won't be able to make it to Shepherdsville Saturday, so we're going to do it, and then we bring it back. But we're going to bring it back. I'd like to send some to you. We'll when we're more solid on our times and dates, I'll send them to you. We got the blessing of the bikes in Illinois coming up in May. That's a good ride to go on. We like to do that. So the blessing of the bikes. That's in Southern Illinois. Skittle, you know where that's at?
Yeah, it's in Southern Illinois. Yeah, no, I do know what you're talking about. When we get done with this podcast, I'll get that information and I'll have that linked below.
Yeah. We got a few more things coming up, but we still got to talk about them. We're still in the middle of putting things together in the chapters. You know, we're getting more members coming in, and we're trying. They just got to get through their degree work.
Very good, brother. Well, Brother Bo, if you were to put a closing on tonight, or just something you wanted to end the podcast with, or a conclusion, or if there was maybe a young man or a gentleman who's looking to join Freemasonry or the Wittesons, and just if you were to leave them with something, what would that be?
If you to be one, ask one. If you want to be a Mason, find one, ask them. They're not going to come and ask you, because we're looking for good men and make them better. Wittesons, I love looking inside the lodge and trying to get members out there. I know sometimes it works when we get a Witteson and then he becomes a Mason because he wants to be a Witteson, but always like looking inside the lodge. We got a lot of good men out there. So it looks like we lost Gilligan.
Oh yeah, no, he's good. He's good. He's just on the side.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to ask one. If you see one, if you see a light on, their light on at the lodge, stop by to talk to them. They're not going to hurt you.
Yeah, let me actually ask you about that. I know we're getting a little long here, so I want to end us here soon. But if there's a young man who wants to join Freemasonry or the Wittesons, what's the best path for him to take?
Well, like I said, if you know where there's a lodge at and the light's on, just go talk to them. If you know someone that you work with, it's a Mason. They wear one of them rings. Ask one. Just go up and talk to them. A lot of them are friendly. They'll talk to you. And it should be all of them are friendly, but I know in the past a lot of them old guys, we don't talk about that stuff.
Right.
My barber down here, he just got in a year ago, and we were talking about it, and some of the other barbers are in there, and one of them says, well, I'm Catholic, I can't get in. I said, sure you can. We don't discriminate. We don't care if you're Catholic. That ain't no big deal.
Yep.
I'm glad they don't keep Southern Baptists out, or I wouldn't be in there.
Yeah, what's actually super interesting is in a couple weeks from now, we have I think it's called the Third Degree Masonic podcast. We're going to have them on. And the host of that podcast, he's a Catholic, and he's very openly talked about being a Mason as well as a Catholic. So I don't want to talk for him, because I'm not personally a Catholic. I'm a practicing Christian, but yeah, you can do that. But Gilligan, if you're still on here, do you have any closing statements? Anything you want to leave us with or say?
I would just love to say that I love the journey that Brother Bo has had in his years from being coming in '99, going in 2016, becoming a master, then again in 2017, 22, and then 2026 getting to be a district deputy. That's a feat in its own and takes a lot of dedication. And I love that you serve the craft. I love your attitude of how you're just a humble servant. And just keep that up, brother. Just keep doing you, keep being the light, keep spreading the light. And I can't wait to see you in Kentucky at rally, or even at a state meeting. And you said your meeting was this Sunday. I'm assuming it's at like 2:00 or so. Yay? Yeah. Can anybody hear me?
Very good. Very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
You're
was
cutting in or
rough.
out, but it'll
Okay.
come back later. So we'll
Fair
fix it
enough.
in post. You're good.
Fair enough. But no, I'm off my soapbox, brother.
No, you're good.
So the last thing I got to say is, so mote it be.
So motive be.
Right on. Awesome. Well, let's end it there, brother.
Nice.
God bless every one of y'all.
Yep. Same.
All right. Thank you, brothers. Hey, Brother Bo, thank you so much for being on the podcast. We truly appreciate it. What a blessing having an OG such as yourself. So thank you again, brother.
Thank you for having me on.
All right.